After Egghead, things were supposed to slow down, but no. Oda said, let's crank it to 100 real quick. The crew lands in Elbaf, and what follows is straight-up chaos. Evil twins, demon giants, ancient libraries, secret paths, holy knights, and yeah, Emu himself pulling up like the final boss. Here's your full Elbaf recap so far. Right after Egghead, the crew lands on Elbaf, but because fate hates peace, the crew gets separated. Luffy's group somehow ends up in the underworld of Elbaf, literally a secret zone where the forgotten are chained and hidden. And guess who they meet? Prince Loki, the true heir of Elbaf, who's been trapped there for years like some mythological prisoner. No one even remembered him. He's been living on rocks and depression. We soon find out Elbaf is split into 3 worlds. The upper world, where giants rule, the middle world, where normal folks live, and the underworld, where secrets rot and danger thrives. Eventually, Luffy's crew escapes to the upper world, and boom, they reunite with the rest of the gang. Robin's out here connecting with Saul, the OG giant from Ohara. Yes, he's alive and still awesome. Together, they explore an ancient library holding knowledge from Ohara, full of Void Century secrets, ancient weapons, but before they can finish their lore buffet, disaster strikes. As the crew tries to rescue Loki, they're confronted by Gubern, a cold and stoic warrior standing guard. Luffy politely asks, "Hey, can we have the keys to Loki's cuffs?" Gubern, "No." Luffy, "Guess we're fighting then." He jumps into Gear 5. The drums of liberation start pounding, and for a second, we think we're getting a legendary fight. But Gubern, being the ultra Chad he is, just shrugs and says, "I'm not paid enough for this." He tosses the keys and dips, giving the crew their first win. Enter the Holy Knights, the world government's most elite squad, who make the CP0 look like mall cops. Now things get spicy. The Holy Knights have landed in Elbaf. Let me introduce these walking nightmares. Samrock, Shanks' evil twin brother, calm, collected, and deadly. His power? Still unknown, but rumors say he has access to anti-hockey weaponry. Gunko, a beast in armor who manipulates gravity at will. He crushed a mountain by waving his hand. Not a fan of hugs. Saint Kalingam. He's shown making giant children fall asleep, sleepwalking them where he wants, then manifesting their dream content, zero-calorie salt, monsters called MMAs, into reality. Summers, the trickster. The Iba Iba no Mi allows Summers to generate and control massive thorny vines at will. But what makes his usage terrifying is how he fuses this with fear-based abilities. Together, they try to recruit Loki, telling him to join their side and help take Elbaf from the inside. Loki refuses, says, "I'd rather eat seaweed for eternity," and Samrock leaves to inform the Celestial Dragons. But the Holy Knights have a backup plan. They begin kidnapping Elbaf's children to use as future leverage. Summers uses his dream magic to silently abduct them. But when the villagers catch on, the giants strike back. Sadly, it's useless. Summers starts spawning literal nightmare villains, enemies from the past, beasts of legend, all created from the giants' own fears. Some Straw Hate members try stop them from kidnapping the children, but fail to do when the Holy Knights are flexing their God Mode cheat codes. Boom! The ground shakes, wind splits, and suddenly, Gubern enters the battlefield like a total legend. No fancy intro, no speeches. He just walks up, spins his massive war axe, and in one clean slash, cuts off a Holy Knight's arm. Everyone watching is like, wait, they can bleed. That's when we realize the Holy Knights are not immortal. They're just extremely hard to kill, unless you have the right kind of hockey. But then things take a dark turn. Scooper Gubern spots someone in the crowd being dragged away. It's his son, Cullowen, one of the children the Holy Knights kidnapped to use as leverage. Gubern hesitates for the first time. He lowers his weapon, takes a step forward. That's when it happens. Gunko, the Holy Knight with the gravity powers and a deadly precision bow, sees the opening and fires a shadow arrow straight into Gubern's right arm. The shot is brutal. It doesn't just wound him, it shatters his grip on the axe. Then another blast of collapsing ground opens up beneath him. Gubern falls, tumbling down into the underworld of Elbaf. But he's not alone. Chopper, who had been trying to rescue the kidnapped kids, follows the trail and ends up in the underworld too, where he finds Gubern, injured but still alive. Instead of panicking, Chopper asks the big question, "How did you hurt the Holy Knights like that? What are they?" Gubern, despite bleeding and furious over his son being taken, agrees to talk. He lifts his axe. He says they are not immortal, but can be killed only with advanced conqueror's haki, which should be learned and tamed to reach its peak to cut through their fake immortality. And then Gubern drops the ultimate bombshell. He was the left hand of the Pirate King. He's fought against enemies like Emu before. And there's one more thing. Gubern says only 2 in the Straw Hat crew can do it. Luffy and, surprisingly, Zoro. Zoro's jaw drops. Sanji's ego shatters. Meanwhile, up in the upper world, IMU himself possesses one of the Holy Knights like a dark spirit. He unleashes his Conqueror's Haki across Elbaf, an energy so strong it's the same aura he used at Egghead. He activates a massive pentagram ritual, which begins transforming the giants into demon giants. 2 of the worst? Dory and Brogy, once heroes and now servants of destruction. Under Imu's orders, they burn the Ohara library, wiping out Elbaf's last historical truth. Gubern reveals he was once the left hand of the Pirate King, meaning he's seen this kind of evil before. He explains how King Harled, Loki's father, was betrayed and killed by a secret pact between the world government. Now Gubern and Loki argue, should Loki stay or join the fight? That's when Luffy stands up, looks Loki in the eye, and says, "Join my crew. Let's end this. Let's save Elbaf." And Loki? He's thinking about it. Mu's true power is now revealed. The Holy Knights are real, deadly, and beatable. And the war for Elbaf has only just begun. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button. Let's reach 300 likes, and I'll drop part 2. Emu versus Luffy Demon Giants versus Straw Hats. Zoro's Conqueror's Haki, and the truth behind Samrock's existence. Subscribe now before Emu erases